Hi, I'm JD Hagler with RFired Holsters, and this is a very short but ridiculously boring video that I have been asked to shoot by my mother, who's the wonderful teacher that you are all having to put up with right now. Just so you know, I am praying for you guys, and I really hope that this does not end with traumatic damage because of her. That being said, those of you that have her PE class, she does have a taser and she will use it. So, basically, she just wanted me to talk about what this business is and how I got into it and what for. Basically, I wanted to start concealed carry when I was 21, and so as soon as I hit that age, I was going out for it. And I'd done a lot of research on as far as how I wanted to carry it, and where I wanted to carry it, and why I wanted to carry it. And the why and the where isn't really important to this video, but the how is. And right now, I carry it right here on my right side. And it's there. But in order to get that kind of a draw, you have to have a specific holster. You have to have it inside the waistband, concealed holster. It just hooks over the top of the belt. It's underneath the shirt. You don't see it, and it's good. However, a holster like that costs about $80, depending on who you get it from. You can get some of them for about $60, but you have to order it. And the first holster I ordered took 6 to 8 weeks to show up. And then it was only good for the gun without the light, because at that time I didn't have this. So here's the gun, $80 for this holster. A month later I buy a light for it. So now my holster is useless. So instead of spending another $80 and sending my gun to them so they can make a custom mold of the gun with the light on it, I decided to just spend a little bit extra money and make the holster myself. It's a really simple design. You cut your leather out, you take your Kydex, and you melt your Kydex just a little bit and press it over the top of your gun with this mold, with this press here. And after that, you just make your own hooks and drill your holes and so on and so forth. It's fairly easy holster to make. It takes me about an hour to do. But there wasn't a lot of it around and where I was at. I still have to order it. So I made my first one, and I spent, for an $80 holster, I spent about, I think it was about $140 to buy the Kydex materials, which is this plastic here, the leather, the hardware, and then the tools I would need, which included a heat gun and a skill bandsaw to cut the Kydex with. So we got about $140 invested in, but she has saved money by not buying an $80 holster. And about a month later, that light broke, and I bought a different light. Now I need another holster. Instead of spending another $80 on a holster, I just made one. So now I've saved $160, and I've only spent $140 on the equipment. So I've got something I enjoy doing. I'm good at it. It's easy to do for me, and it doesn't take me a lot of time. I can put them out pretty quickly. I was part of a concealed carry forum that was pushing the holsters and pushing it in Kansas. There was a bunch of advocates for concealed carry in Wichita mainly, but all over Kansas. And a lot of guys had different complaints about this brand of holster or that brand of holster. But a lot of the big complaints were things like, if I want them to make a custom holster for my custom rig, then I have to send that gun to them for 6 to 8 weeks. Which, if that's your primary concealed carry weapon, you're without your right hand for 2 months. And even then, if anything changes, they have to make another holster. So the need was there for somebody who could just make a custom holster like that in a few days and have it back to them. And after I posted a couple of things on there about, this is what I did for my gun, a couple of people came back and said, well, can you do that for mine? And so that's where it kind of started. And another guy, a leather worker who was making custom leather holsters, got into it and started giving me some tips and some advice. So that's kind of where it started. That's where it kind of went with it. The biggest thing is just finding what you like doing. If there's something you like doing, as far as woodwork, carpentry, essentially the same thing. Homeschoolers, you guys know that, I'm sorry. But even masonry, I know a guy that cuts his own glass and does stained glass windows. He's really good at it. He enjoys doing it. He makes halfway decent money at it, but he enjoys doing it. He didn't go out and find something that he hates to do but makes good money at. He's making good money at what he likes to do. And there's plenty of things you can do around here. I'm going to leave. Nobody panic. There's about anything you can do. This is a picture frame that I made for my girlfriend a while back that's basically some birch and some ash glued together, and then you wood burn it. Didn't take a whole while. It took longer to wood burn it than it did anything else, but I've had people want frames like that. I really enjoy making it. I could probably sell those frames halfway decent. Find something you enjoy doing and start getting it out there. Once you found something you enjoy doing, do the research. I couldn't just hop into the business. I had to know what tools I needed. I had to know what my supplies were going to be. I had to know where to get the supplies. I had to find a good supplier for it. I go to knifekits.com, which is actually a website for making your own knives, knife handles, knife holsters, and everything else. But they sell all of this, the hardware and everything, in bulk. So do the research. Find where you're going to get your supplies from. If you have to get it in bulk to get it cheaper, that's fine. If you have to start with smaller quantities to get what you need, I mean, by all means, work your way up. Find a market. Actually, find a market before you find your supplies. That would be good, because if you don't have a market, you're screwed. But, so if you got something you like doing, there's a need for it, or a want for it, and you can get the supplies, do the research on what people exactly need. I can make a holster, but Brett doesn't need a holster that sits on the outside of his belt and leaves a print on his shirt. It's a concealed holster. If he wants to wear it for show, this is a great holster for that. But if he wants to hide it, this isn't going to work. He needs this. If he wants to go to a gun show and show it off, he doesn't want this. He wants this. This is one of the best ideas I had. I built a outside the waistband Kydex holster for my rig, threw a flashlight in one corner, and then wood burned all of that leather. You know, put the American flag in it and my name. That's the best advertising stunt I did at a gun show. For somebody who just wants to carry around the farm and doesn't care about hiding it, there's an outside the waistband. This is a pigskin right here. This is an idea from another leather worker who told me to glue this in there because Kydex wears on your guns. Do your research. Get in there with people who also do the same thing. Get online and find out what people need. One of the bigger complaints about the other holsters, the first one I bought actually, the Kydex would stop right here, which left your gun sight hanging out and would catch in the jeans and tear a hole in the jeans. Other complaints included the hooks. They didn't like the hooks. They didn't like the fact there wasn't adjustability. They didn't like the fact that they'd have to send the gun away for 6 to 8 weeks to get a custom fit. So I set about to deal with those problems. I have a holster that goes all the way down to the tip of the barrel, covers the sight, protects the whole gun. One of the problems with my gun was that the same thing. The Kydex stopped halfway and I got sweat marks on my gun. My gun has wear on it because I wore it all the time and the Kydex didn't protect it because it wasn't there enough. So I got that taken care of. I have the safety covered. People have worried about the safety being uncovered, or your magwell being, not the magwell, but the magazine release being uncovered. Jeans will pop that magazine release and now your magazine's floating away in Walmart somewhere. It covers that. There's a wedge here between your body and the gun so that you don't have this cold steel rubbing up against your back. I have custom Kydex hooks here that hook right over top of the belt. They're comfortable, they're easy to take off. They've got holes here so you can adjust and get whatever cans you want for it. You can adjust that gun so it sits here, so it sits here, so it sits straight level. It's right there. And if they have any suggestions or they have anything they want differently, all they gotta do is talk to me and I can do that for them. I've done custom magazine holders, like dual magazines, or I had a guy that came and he asked me if it was possible to do a Colt 45 magazine holster for 4 magazines. That's a holster that's that long. That's what he wanted, and he was willing to pay for it. He paid $60 for that holster. So within a month or two of having the equipment I needed to make my own holsters, I had enough people buying holsters that I paid off my equipment. So even if I never make another holster in my life, the equipment that I have now, including the bandsaw, the heat guns, the materials, is all paid for. I basically make my own holsters now for free. If I want a new holster, if I want a shoulder holster, if I want an outside the waistband holster, if I want a holster for my girlfriend, if I want a holster for my brother, all I gotta do is just come in here and make it because I have all the supplies and it's already paid for because I found a way to pay for it. So find something you like doing, something you enjoy doing, see if there's a market for it. If there's a market for it, see if there's supplies for it, see if you can actually afford to get into the business. If you can, find out exactly what people want. The best thing is somebody local that is for the small businesses most of us will be looking at getting into. Someplace local that's willing to work with the customer, do what they want, and if it doesn't work the first time, they can come back. This is actually, I made 2 of these holsters. The first one was this one. and it was too high. The guy wanted it, I'm sorry, it was too low. He wanted it higher up on the waist. He came back, I built him another holster. This one's worth about $60. But that's not what he liked. He liked the other one. But because he liked it, he took it back and told his buddies, hey, this guy will work with you. And that helps out your business. So be willing to work with people. Be willing to do the custom jobs for them that they need. And that's what's going to get your word of mouth around. And then as far as advertising, for businesses like this, it's kind of hard. But don't be afraid to go into places like the picture frame. I can go to a craft shop and say, hey, do you guys have an interest in this? And they would probably say, yeah, if you could make a bunch of those, we would sell them for you. I can go and I've been to several gun stores that didn't have an interest in making these, but there's been plenty of gun stores on the same token that people have come in and said, we need a custom holster. Do you guys sell them? Well, no, we don't sell them, but we know a guy that can. So there was a shop in Winfield that was willing to start stocking my holsters because I could make the custom ones right then. So don't be afraid to go in there and find a place to market it. You know, you can't get on Google and advertise so much, but if you have a specific product for a specific need, go to the places where people are going to look for that product and see if there's an avenue for you to sell that product there. Something I like to try at some point is going to a gun show and setting up a booth and just making the holster right there in front of the customer. They can loan me the gun, give me about 5 minutes with it, I'll press it in my Kydex press, which will create something like this. And then I'll just cut it out, drill your holes, put it on the leather, it's good to go. So, find something you enjoy doing, find a market, find the supplies, research it, find out what people want exactly, and don't be afraid to be inventive and find something new. Sell it. That's all there is to it. You got eBay, you've got shows, you've got word of mouth. If people like what you're selling, they're going to tell their friends. I had one guy that liked this, and he went and told his whole biker gang, oh, this guy makes these, and he can put our stuff on there. It's good money. It's like a $110 holster. If he likes it and he goes and gets all his buddies, like let's say 7 or 8 buddies to get that, and they all want the same kind of holster, you just made almost $1,000 right there, just from word of mouth. Not from any kind of advertising, but because you were friendly, outgoing, and had a good product, and you were willing to work with the customer. It's as simple as that. So find something you like doing, and just work from there. But that's all I've got, I think. In case you are wondering, that is the Millennium Falcon. I have my brother to thank for that. But that's the only other thing. So I know you all are jealous right now. You guys take care. Behave. No, don't behave. It's my mom teaching that class, right? I want everybody to stand up and leave the room right now. But you guys take care.